Hello, I'm Galactic Sweets, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Last time, we took on pirates! And today, we're going to have a minor battle on the roadside. But not before we get introduced to a new character. Ike! I've got to tell you something! Listen to this! Settle down, miss. It's too early for you to be yelling like that. Now what's going on? Soren's back! He just arrived! Really? That's odd. He wasn't supposed to return for a while yet. I know, I wonder what he's doing back so soon. It's probably nothing to worry about. Famous last words right there. I'll go talk to him. Where is he? In the mess hall. I think he wanted to talk to Father. Right, I'll go check there. Troubling news indeed. Gather the troops. Yes, Commander. Ike, if you've got time to waste, you've got time to work. Get over to the briefing room. Yes, sir. Hey, what's going on around here? Bad news. Something big is happening and we need to formulate a plan of action. Soren! Hello, Ike. Long time no see. I'm happy to see you're back. But what happened? I thought you were going to be studying for a while longer. It's a long story. What's the holdup? Get over here now! Let's go. I'll fill you in later. You probably remember that Soren's been trading with another mercenary group. Well, he's back now. And he has some unbelievable news. What news is that? It's Cremia and Dayan. Oh wait, that's the wrong voice. It's Cremia and Dayan. They've gone to war. War? It can't be. That's why I've called everyone here. Soren has some more information. Go ahead, Soren. Alright. Take a look at this map. Oh, it's a map of Cremia. Quite detailed from the looks of it. Yes, this is Melior, the capital, Cremia's capital. Our base of operations is right about here. Everything started 3 days ago. I need to do some research, so I went to the archives of Melior's royal library. Without warning, the scream of a terrible beast, a wyvern perhaps, rent the air and the building was rocked by a tremor. I rushed outside and saw wave after wave of knights, cavalry, and wyvern riders, each clad in glistening ebon armor, black as night. The Dayan army. Correct. Was there provocation? As you know, relations between Cremia and Dayan have never been friendly. However, the past centuries have only seen minor skirmishes, nothing that has ever approached the scale of this attack. It was brutal and without warning. Dayan laid waste to the capital. I'd never seen destruction on this scale before. A swift attack, devastating and brutal. A daring gambit, indeed. But if it succeeds, a very well-chosen one at that. Yes, the King of Dayan would not hesitate to employ such treacherous tactics. What happened next? King Cremia's brother deployed the Cremian army to meet the attack. The king ordered his people to flee the city before the battle reached them. Fearing the worst, I also fled and made my way here. So we don't know how the tides of battle flow now, do we? That's alright. Word of the war cannot have traveled far yet. We may well be the first ones who know of it out here. You did well to bring us this information, Soren. I know some risk was involved. It was nothing. Dayan has invaded Cremia. We may be mercenaries, but this still affects us. What are we going to do? I apologize for the quick cut there. Some recording equipment came unplugged. But this is... Oh, we'll just sort of break into mood at the moment. But this is also a good time to show that, say you were scrolling through text real fast and you missed something. If you press Z, and you can see all the text that came up till now. So to start where I left off, that was Grail's last quote. That's the question of the day. How do you see it, Titania? Remember to answer in the comments below and subscribe as well. Seriously, the question of the day. So many channels do that, but it's a good way to encourage cooperation, or not cooperation, but channel participation and video. Yeah, you know what viewer participation, that's what I'm saying. Alright, now to go back to the cutscene and stop ruining the mood. Crimea is the closest thing our company has to a homeland. The Crimean royal family and noble house have been generous, providing us with many lucrative jobs. From a moral standpoint as well as a business one, it's in our best interest to help Crimea. And you, Soren? I agree on one point. We are mercenaries. We are not Crimea's private militia. No coin has crossed our palms, so I think we should stay out of it. So you would have us sit and watch as Crimea is overrun? I would. Dane's troops are superior in both numbers and morale. The chances of a Crimean victory are slim indeed. But Crimea is ruled by King Ramon, who is known throughout the land for his wisdom. And his brother, Duke Renning, is said to possess peerless valor and courage. Dan may not find victory so easily. Valor and courage are for children's tales. In terms of military prowess, Dane's King Ashnard is every bit Lord Renning's equal. Victory will hinge on the number of troops and supplies. And Dane is superior in both. I think the outcome is painfully obvious. Curse you, Soren, Crimea is not doomed! If they can turn aside Dane's initial thrust and turn it into a test of endurance, with the Crimean army both demoralized and ill-prepared, they simply will not be able to hold out that long. Alright, that's enough, both of you! I hear what you say. However, we must ascertain the current situation before we decide on any action. We'll send a scouting party to get a closer look at Melior. Mike, I want you in charge of this. Assemble your men and get going. What? Me? Titania will accompany you as an advisor. Commander, you must be joking. He's just a boy. He's barely had more than a taste of battle. What do you expect a whelp like him to accomplish? Ah, Shinon, since you're so concerned, you can go as well. What? That's not what I... Blast. Who else? Gatry, Briss, and Soren. That should do. Father, wait. Why do you want me... That was an order. Get moving. There's no time to waste. Yes, sir. Titania, I'm going out for a bit. I want you to give Ike some direction. Understood. Yes, sir. Ike, wait up! What? Here, this is for you. You got the regal sword. And we have to discard an item. Well, we don't need all these iron swords, so I'm going to discard the one that already has a bunch of uses, that's been used quite a bit. A sword? Where'd you get it? From Father. He told me to come and give it to you. It's beautiful. This is the first sword you've gotten that wasn't a hand-me-down from someone, isn't it? That's great. Yeah. Well, be careful. Oh, and bring me a souvenir. Something nice. I've never been to Melior before. Miss, I'm not going on vacation. Sheesh. And with that, we set out towards the capital of the nation we currently reside in. And so far, things seem relatively quiet. Are you feeling alright, Ike? You haven't said a word in quite some time. I don't understand what my father's doing. Why put a new recruit like me in charge of something so important? You're going to succeed him as our commander one day. Don't you think he wants you to know how to lead? Me, I don't know if I'm capable, and even if I am, that day's a long way off, right? I mean, I'm inexperienced, weak. I'm nothing compared to my father. I'm not sure about that. When I see you, I see a young man full of promise. Commander Grail is a great man, but I think you'll be every bit his equal. In time, you might even surpass him. Don't be ridiculous. It's just my opinion. You need not pay any mind. Yet, if you fear your own weakness, why not take this chance to go out and better yourself? That would be more in keeping with your personality, no? I suppose you're right. How do things look over there, Sword? Same as here. There are corpses strewn everywhere. There are quite a lot of them, especially when you consider how far we are from the capital. Are they Crimean? Judging by the armor, the vast majority of the dead are Dayan soldiers. So Crimea has the upper hand? Just the opposite, I think. The Crimean soldiers were members of the Imperial Guard. That means King Ramon, or another member of the royal family, was on the move when Dayan soldiers fell on them. Could it have been Lord Renning? No. As long as the Crimean army still draws breath, Lord Renning will not leave their command. Perhaps another member of the court. We've got Dayan soldiers moving in on our location, and they don't look happy. You there! Who are you? What are you doing here? We're no one you need. You're armed! Heed me! Drop your weapons and surrender! Act quickly, or else... Listen to me, fool. You're making a mistake. We're not going to cooperate, eh? Ready your weapons, men. Move it and kill them all. Headstrong fools. Getting caught up in some skirmish is not part of the plan. But they're obviously not going to listen to us. Real mercenaries, get ready to fight. Yeah, you can see we have to deal with an entire battalion of Dayan soldiers. Alright, Ike, let's see how you handle the role of captain. Well, what's your orders, boy? We'll do what you say, so long as you hurry up and spit it out. I know, I'm thinking. Give me a moment, will you, Shinon? Bah, useless. We'd be better led with mist in this soft, untested wealth. Let's see, we're in the middle of the road and there's not much cover. Soren and Riss are vulnerable, so we'll have to protect them from enemy attacks, right? That's a sound strategy, Ike. I can attack from behind your defenses. Good thinking. You mean that? Alright, let's do that then. I never really noticed how not confident Ike is at the beginning. But yes, you can see we got quite the map here. It's a giant open plain with a few trees scattered about. Gaiden would be proud. And we have to deal with Dayan soldiers for the first time. These aren't just your average brigands. They have lances, and knights, and knight killers. Yes, this is actually a weapon that's effective against people on horseback. So Titania you should keep Titania clear of that person, but honestly, at this point in the game, Titania is so overpowered it doesn't matter. And we can see we have a boss here, and this is you can see in the top left, clear defeat boss, so this is the guy we need to defeat, Maijin. And he has a javelin, and the fact that it's highlighted in red means he drops it when we defeat him. So you can go through, look at his stats, go through, look at other solar stats, and finally to address what all of you have been waiting for, the new unit, Soren. Soren is your first magic user, so instead of using strength, he uses magic. But strength is still important, as you see all tomes have weight that will affect their attack speed, which is basically how fast they'll be in a battle after calculating various things such as constitution, speed, and strength and whatnot. Higher strength means units can wield heavier tomes, and of course, the later you get in the game, the more powerful the tomes will get and the heavier they will get. You look at Soren's strength growth and his base strength, and you can see that he doesn't exactly have a lot of... Well, saying that he has some amount of strength is a bit overselling him. He's going to have zero strength for quite some time, and even when he does break out of it, it's not going to get that much better. For that reason, Soren's big weakness is that he will have trouble doubling with heavier tomes, especially, so magic in this game has been split into 3 different elements. Normally in Fire Emblem, you have your fire, your thunder, and your wind tomes, but they've never really been separated into its own individual triangle. They've always just been considered magic. But in this game, they're all considered different types of weapons. So Soren can wield E-rank fire tomes, E-rank lightning tomes, or thunder tomes, but D-rank wind tomes. Basically letting Soren specialize in wind magic. And this is a big advantage of having Soren join so early in the game, is you have time to work up those tome ranks. Thunder tomes are generally considered the strongest tomes. They do the most damage, but I believe have the least amount of accuracy, while wind tomes are the weakest, but have really good accuracy. And yeah, though Soren has a E-rank wind tome, he doesn't even have a D-rank wind tome. It is simple to master, but it possesses little to trick. So yes, Wind is the weakest of the magic, but it's also the one with the best hit. So yeah, Soren will have trouble wielding stuff later. When Soren promotes to his second tier class, this is a bit out of the way, but he will gain the option to choose between two new things to wield. He will either be able to wield staves like Risk, or he will be able to wield knives, which is something we haven't seen yet. Don't give him knives. Again, it relies on the strength stat. I'm pointing at it right now. Don't give him knives. Give him staves. You will benefit so much more from that. Needless to say, there's one other thing we need to go over Soren, and that's the skill he gets. In certain conditions, grants his unit 2 consecutive attacks. Basically, it has a chance of activating, and when it does, Soren will automatically get a second attack. This can mitigate later game where Soren will have to wield heavier tomes, and might not be able to double. Adept will allow him to do so, but this eventually will get the ability to take skills off and reassign them. It might also be worth giving to Riss when he promotes to his second tier class, since he doesn't have a lot of strength either, and light magic tomes are very heavy. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So yeah, that's Soren. Keep him far away from battle, and he'll serve you well. Yeah, do not let him near battle. That low HP, that low defense is not going to help. But Soren is a very solid unit, and definitely one I recommend using. So with that, we're going to go ahead and, we're going to go ahead and get a good overview of the map. You can see we're outnumbered 16-6. We could reposition, though I don't really see a need to, because Riss and Soren are already in the back, Gatry's in the front, and there's no reason for... Shinon is a dodge tank, so we don't need to worry about having him stick back. At least for this point in the game, Shinon's really good. So we're going to go ahead and save. I'm going to save here because I don't want to overwrite a file. I mean, granted, that's why I have that second roadside battle file. Yeah, so with that, we'll begin the fight. And I believe if this song... No, this is not the song I'm thinking of. This is the song, I believe, First Flight? But it's still a good song. I'm thinking of another song. But hey, this song, if you played Fire Emblem Heroes, you probably heard this. A good strategy if you want to keep your mage protected is to have them jump into a thicket, because that means they're likely to dodge attack. So, do I have animations on? Because I definitely want to show Soren's animations. No. We'll just do individual. We'll have Riss animations on. We'll keep Soren on for now. So. Then I think the magic animations look really cool, but the nice thing about this whole being a 3D game with like the 3D map and whatnot is that you still see the magic animations on the map, so you're not really missing out on too much by switching off animations for Soren. Let's see, we're gonna have Ike take on this guy. Yes, to address what else, Ike got this, the Regal Sword. It's sword Ike received from his father. It's light and easy to wield. Only Ike can wield it, because for some reason, there's some magical property about the sword that's preventing someone else from wielding it. No, but really, every Fire Emblem Lord has like their rapier or something like that. This is Ike's version of it. You can see it has a lot higher attack than Iron Sword, but not... And unlike the Steel Sword, it weighs a lot less, so Ike will be able to double with it easily. This is a good sword. You're going to want to keep this sword, and I recommend not using it right now just to conserve on uses. Granted, I tend to be a lot more conservative with my weapon use. I'll use weapons less even if I can use them more, if that makes sense. Let's see. I'm going to have Shinon go here and take out this. We'll have Shinon go here and take out the soldier. So yeah, that's generally how I play Fire Emblem. Other people tell you that you're fine using it because you're not really missing out on much. I'm going to have Gatry go here and take out this guy. So that's just how I play Fire Emblem. So yeah, let's talk about... I've been thinking about this between episodes, and I think about, well, once we go over all the characters... that's not that great of a level up. You could say he got lucky with that level up, but really, that was actually an incredibly unlucky level up. Did he get HP? Oh, that's not too bad, I guess. We'll go ahead and get you. So I've been trying to think about, well, what can I talk about? Because I'm trying to improve as a commentator because I'm not the best at this in the world. And one thing I figured I could talk about is map design. It's something I don't have a lot of experience in, but I always like looking at maps and seeing how they work. And this is an interesting map, especially if you watch like a low turn count or a speed run. This map, so because Shinon has the provoke skill, a lot of enemies will try to attack him. Excuse me, I had a bit of gas there. And so what a speedrun does is they'll literally stick Shinon up just a bit further, and they'll have enemies gather around him because they'll all attack him because of his provoke skill. And what's really funny is because of that, the boss will actually walk towards Shinon, but because Shinon's surrounded on all sides, the boss has to attack Shinon from a distance. And Shinon can one-round the guy, even though he's bulky and in armor. It's pretty funny to watch. You see like this whole cluster of enemies. I definitely recommend looking up. I know it was at a Games Done quick event before. But yes, the Javelin can attack from 1 to 2 range. So yeah, Shinon essentially provokes everyone coming towards him and one-rounds the boss. And it's just really funny to watch. Ike is not doing so well. We'll take you out. Fortunately, Riss and Soren can take a hit, just not more than one, and I dropped an Iron Lance that I probably could have used. Oh well. I should probably check what in enemy inventory to see if they have stuff to drop. Because later you'll get a convoy, and that'll be useful for like holding on to weapons, storing them when you don't need them so you don't have to have all your inventory filled up. But we don't have access to the convoy yet. Also, I love the mage's animations when they do 2 magic attacks in a row. They'll like wave his arm up and like, huh, and then he'll wave it down and do another attack. It's like he's almost slapping him or something, I don't know, it's just really funny to me. I get amused by the smallest things, in case it wasn't obvious. So yes, this map, I'm never the biggest fan of this map, but I've played a lot of maps, and there are definitely a bunch of maps like this one, especially, so I talked about Gaiden, Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia just released, and it has a lot of maps like this one where it's a lot of terrain with a few trees. Even then, I think this map is still better than those maps, because I feel like you can try and, the trees are strategically placed so you can try and dump and take cover. Oh, this is bad, because Ike is injured. And 3 people are probably going to gang up on him next turn. No, Shinon has Provoke. I could bank on Shinon's Provoke. I'm going to bank on Shinon's Provoke. Hopefully they will, yes, they should attack him. I was about to say, this is really bad for Ike, because if he gets attacked by all those guys, there's no way he's surviving. Oh, okay, maybe he will. That was not that much damage. But yes, because Shinon's Provoke, they're going to ignore Ike and just go for Shinon. Provoke is such an amazing skill. Let's see. Yeah, that'll kill. Also, I want to bring attention to Ike's stance. That we just sort of hold the sword over his head. I just always find it really funny to look at. I believe that is, I know I mentioned this before, but I believe that is an actual stance in sword fighting, but it's not a stance you would rest in. So, you would normally rest with like the sword in front of you, or whatever, not above you like that, but that stance can be good for using stabbing attacks, I believe. I'm no expert in sword fighting, I'm just reciting what I heard from a Reddit post. But it's interesting stuff nonetheless to see where some of this stuff comes from. Like, to know it's not just some arbitrary decision, but there was actually intent made behind it. Let's see, Shinon, you can go here, and it's a waste of your steel bow, so we'll use your iron bow. And ooh, a crit. I don't have the sound on, so I can't necessarily tell. I mean, I had it on for a second just so I could hear the map theme. That's it. Let's see. Where is Steel Sword, Night Killer? Oh, okay, we're gonna drag out this guy with the iron bow. Titania does have a hand axe. The real question is, you do not drop something. So I'm just gonna give this kill to Titania. I see no reason to hold on to it. Alright, come on, Archer. Do your worst. No damage. So yeah, this map, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's a bad map by any means, but it's not the best map. But then again, when it comes to talking about map design, while there are some Fire Emblem games with like really good map design in the beginning, this, I generally don't look to the beginning of games to look for good map design. Alright, so the guy here is going to have a steel sword. If I move Ike there, yes, Risk can heal Ike. So I can move Ike up here, have him just with his iron sword equipped, and I can have Risk move forward and heal Ike, because Ike is not doing well. I'm not going to have him shove Ike even further. Gee, that would be a bad idea. Alright. I'll move Gatry into range as well, just because. He'll probably go after Gatry, or no, he'll probably go after Ike because he can do damage to Ike, because the Swordmaster could, or the Myrmidon could probably not do damage to Gatry. We're going to go ahead and turn Soren's animations off, because you got to see it a few times. But I think the magic users, you don't miss out on much by having the magic users fight without animation, because you still see the magic. God, that sounds like some horrible Disney slogan. Oh, come on, good luck. Ike, you do not need magic. I mean, I guess you can see the magic. I don't know, there's a joke in there somewhere. But like, yeah, just to show, this isn't the best thing to do, but you can still see, you still get the wind animation, which is pretty nice. Unlike more recent Fire Emblem games, or even older Fire Emblem games, where they have the sprites, and so instead of seeing any form of animation, you just sort of see them charge into each other. You don't really miss out on you miss out on like good themes and whatnot. I'm not going to go ahead and say like, oh, that's the only way. You shouldn't ever play with animations on. But like, if you're impatient, you definitely don't miss out on a lot from not having animations on. And this is funny because I usually like having animations on. Like, I find it weird to not have animations on. But then again, in the Let's Play format where you can't necessarily waste a bunch of time, or like have it go on forever, yeah, that's also a thing. And I'm just really rambling at this point, but isn't that what all good Let's Players do? Actually, no, who am I kidding? They actually find relevant stuff to talk about. To show you an example of Ike's Regal Sword, you can see this guy is armored. So you can see that Ike's Regal Sword is flashing. That means he will do effective damage. So he will do like 3 damage. Steel Sword has stronger might, but it only does 6 damage. But because the Regal Sword is super effective against him, it does extra damage. And my TV is blipping out again. You can check, if you aren't sure if someone's armored or not, go to their status screen and check type, and you can see like it says armor and Baroque, which again you don't need to worry about just yet. And if you're worried about whether a weapon has effective damage or not, one, if they have the weapon equipped, you can check the weapon description, but 2, if they have a weapon equipped that does effective damage, you can see down here it says effect. That indicates that it does extra damage. So you can see just by looking at the soldier that he'll do extra damage against anyone on a horse. And in Ike, you'll see he'll do extra damage against anyone on a horse or with armor. So stuff like that. It's easy to figure out. Let's see. You have 2 HP. Soren, how can you take this guy? You cannot double. What we could do... We'll have Gatry take you out. Alright, you are down. We'll have Ike attack with the Regal Sword. And sure, what the heck, we'll turn on animations for this. Let's go. We'll get to see the Regal Sword in action. Yeah, you do get to actually see the weapons, so you can see what the Regal Sword looks like. Bah, you're nothing more than a bunch of ragtag sellswords. Who are you to oppose Dayan? You are so terribly ignorant of your position in this world. You refuse to listen to us, and then you attack us without provocation. Is this the way of the Dayan army? You are a cheeky little monkey, aren't you? Once you're dead, you'll regret sassing me. You can see, the Regal Sword does look nice. It looks nicer than the average sword, at least. So that's 10... Oh, I think Soren can only do 7 damage. Yeah. Dang, what's this guy's resistance? He has 1 resistance. So that's just the fact that the Wind Tome isn't that strong. But hey, Shinon can take out, so long as he doesn't crit. Do not crit Shinon. Gah, blasted mercenaries. They're better than I expected. Even so, they'll not prove a match for Dayan's finest. Should I tell him? Should I tell him that these are the weakest soldiers you will ever face from day in this game because it's the first time you're facing them? No, we'll just let him die thinking he's hot stuff. Alright, just because we can, we're going to take out this guy because why have survivors? We can't have survivors. That's silly. So go, Titania, destroy him! Ooh. No survivors. No survivors here. I guess go this way. There's no reason to. We'll have Risk heal Ike really quick just for the extra experience. Because, yeah, it's nice to just give Risk the experience. And we'll have Soren take the kill, and hopefully he'll level up from this. Alright, Soren, wave your hand at him. A mage, eh? I'll have to keep my guard up around you no matter how young you look. You forced this combat. We cannot allow you to return home. Are you ready to die? God, Soren comes off in such a... words I'm not going to use. Gah, wretched curse. You will regret your decision to oppose Dayan. Soren comes off as such a jerk, but he's really probably one of the more beloved characters in this game. He's a really well-written character, and that's definitely something you'll see with the supports and whatnot when we get to that. And oh boy, Soren, you got more HP. That's actually okay-ish, I guess. I mean, you could have gotten a little more magic. Did we suffer any casualties? Any wounded or dead? No. Excellent. Well done. So that scene obviously would have changed if you lost someone this chapter. I don't know. Taking out these Dayan soldiers may have been a bad move. Hey Shinon, what are you doing? The swine's got some nice weapons. Besides, he ain't gonna complain. He won't need them where he's going. Shinon! Get a hold of yourself. We can't afford such behavior right now. Steal from the dead on your own time. What? You judgmental little... Soren, Shinon, stop this at once. This is no place for us to waste our time bickering amongst ourselves. Let's clear out of here. We have to tell the commander what happened. Let's take this road. We should be able to cut through the forest then. Huh? Something wrong? No, as I said, this road. Wait, Ike, I just saw something move on the far side of that thicket. A wounded soldier, perhaps. Let's go have a look. Careful now. Oh no. Did you find anything, Riss? Why'd you send Riss out to find if you knew it could possibly be an enemy soldier? Why'd you send Riss? The person who can't fight. I mean, I guess he could try and bob him in the staff, but this isn't Radiant Dawn. He can't do that. It's a woman. Leave her. We shouldn't get involved in matters that don't concern us. Oh. Thank goodness. It looks like she's merely fainted. Right, we better take her with us for now and make sure she's alright. Give me a hand, will you, Riss? Of course. I don't like this. You don't like anything, Soren, except Ike. And with that, well, that calls it for this episode. So, we enraged the Dayan army, but really they're just a bunch of pricks who attack anyone. So, I don't think we're missing out on too much. Probably would have happened eventually anyways. And we found a collapsed woman. So, who is this woman? And what will happen now now that we've attacked and killed Dayan soldiers? Find out next time on Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Also, subscribe if you want to see more of this. Follow me on Twitter. Links in the description below. Link to the playlist for the series also in the description below. Hope you guys have been enjoying this series so far. Any constructive criticism or feedback is very much appreciated, as I'm always trying to get better. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.